Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session for a fear or anxiety linked to authority figures. And this is not a rare or uncommon fear. There are lots of people that are completely fine if they are interacting with people on their same level. But the moment they're interacting with an authority figure, and that could be a boss or a business owner, it could be a police officer or a judge, or it could even be someone that just has this kind of look of status or responsibilities, and they can suddenly feel a sense of inferiority or anxiety linked to that. And that is not ideal, because at some level, this halo effect is influencing resource states. And if you feel disempowered when you're interacting with an authority figure, two things can happen. One, you can't necessarily interact the way that you would like to interact. And secondly, it can increase the probability, or at least the possibility, of being taken advantage of by someone in a position of authority. And unfortunately, there are lots of people out there in the world that will seek out positions of authority or responsibility to take advantage of vulnerable people. A good example of that are priests in the Catholic Church took advantage of status, position, authority to do horrible things. So although it's a useful belief to believe that people are generally good and kind, it's also naive to think that all people are good and kind. You get people out there in the world that have malicious intentions. And this is designed to enable the client I was working with to feel resourceful and confident even in the proximity of authority figures. And for them, it wasn't just any authority figure. It was an authority figure where there was traits of a lack of empathy, a sense of seriousness, a sense of unkindness or aggression. The kind of bullying authority figures was the key trigger for them to make them feel unsafe and vulnerable. And that's obviously where they were most at risk. So feeling confident and resourceful in the presence of people like that is a very, very helpful thing indeed. The ultimate authority figure they would be afraid of was a judge, someone with the power to take their freedom away, and freedom was something they valued a lot. So you can hear an element of disassociation into a metaphorical courtroom to see two different versions of themselves, their current version and a version of themselves that is fearless around authority figures, that they can be completely congruent and authentic and themselves. And also some tools, because a lot of the time people borrow some of the perceptions of authority when they don't actually have any authority. So if you think of the cliche of the mall cop, it's someone that has a badge, has a uniform, and therefore thinks they have all this kind of power in the world, when in reality, they're a low-paid employee that doesn't really have too much responsibility. But maybe they sought out that position because they crave power, and that power can corrupt, particularly if it isn't aligned with a sense of integrity. So it's really designed to feel confident around any authority figure, but particularly feel confident around these false authorities, people that aren't really authorities but are trying to masquerade as being more powerful, more influential, or more authoritative than they actually are. And that's where it's very, very helpful. If you feel like you would benefit from any kind of hypnosis session bespoke to your individual needs and circumstances, there will be a link in the show notes that you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation call to explore working with me directly. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just release whatever needs to be released. Feel it leave your body as you breathe in more of that resourceful relaxation. As you breathe in and breathe out, notice that as you breathe in deeper, you can then breathe out for longer. And the deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you can become. So feel that relaxation in your forehead, around your temple, eyebrows, jaw. Feel a wonderful feeling of relaxation going into your neck and your shoulders as you can feel that you're going to a place to make a change. There are many stories of people shifting their identity. Stories where through adversity or through necessity, something changes and they become an evolved, elevated version of themselves. And when a change takes place at the identity level, everything can change. And I want you to think of something that is linked to your identity that makes you feel unsafe. And it may be a word that follows I am. If you thought I am weak, you may feel unsafe. I am unsure means you could be coerced. I am unworthy means that people in positions of status or authority might be able to decide what happens with you and your life. Breathe in and breathe out and just ask yourself the question, who are you? And as you say to yourself, I am, words will come to mind. And sometimes those words might be empowering and positive. I am strong. I am powerful. I am worthy. But sometimes they may not be. Breathe in and breathe out. As you start to get ready to let go of certain components that linked to an identity. There are certain animals, crustaceans, that every now and then have to change their shell. Perhaps you could imagine a hermit crab on a beach that's getting too big for the shell that they call their home. And sometimes they have to let go of one thing to find something more desirable, more fitting for the next phase of their life. Breathe in and breathe out, and use the power of your imagination to imagine being in a courtroom. I want you to see the judge with the gavel, with the robes, a stern, serious face. An older man, arrogant expression, a grumpy, aggressive face, rigid and close-minded. And I want you to find yourself there, standing in court, staring into the face of this rigid, close-minded authority figure. And on the other side of the court, I want you to see someone that looks a little bit like you, but seems unfazed by this judge. They seem relaxed, calm, full of confidence and self-assurance. I want you to feel that you are in the current version of you, and that other version of you is not influenced or shamed or embarrassed or controlled by authority figures. As you breathe in and breathe out, over the next few minutes, a transition will take place where you will leave this courtroom as the version of you desire to be. I want you to see the judge barking questions in a rude, dismissive way. And I want you to see that other version of you calmly responding to each and every question, but not feeling belittled, not feeling weak. See that version of you with pure strength, able to be themselves and not be any different just because there is a supposed authority figure in the room. And you can tell she has that confidence and self-assurance from how she's standing, her facial expressions, even the rate of her breathing. And maybe right now you would feel slightly different. Start to feel the changes happening as the judge now starts asking you questions. Questions like, why haven't you done more with your life? Why are you such a failure? And as you hear these words, just imagine smiling, willing to ask questions back. Maybe the question to why haven't you done more with your life is, I'm still young, I've got time. I've got big plans and big goals. Watch what you do with them. And maybe they say, why are you such a failure? And feel the words leaving your mouth as you say to them, failure is subjective. The only way I can truly fail is if I give up. And I'm determined to be myself and do what I want to do. Notice a refusal to fall into the trap of a controlling, manipulative authority figure. Feel that you have the confidence and self-assurance to question the questions, to pick apart those false presuppositions, to feel You are worthy and confident no matter who is attempting to criticize your life. Breathe in and breathe out, and allow your mind to go to wherever it needs to go, not requiring to stay in this courtroom. Just knowing that as you leave the courtroom, you will leave at this confident version of you. Breathe in and breathe out as you recognize the behaviors of others, especially authority figures, as reflections of their own experiences and attitudes, not yours. A grumpy, aggressive, close-minded individual is a reflection of them, not you. Each day you let go of self-doubt, replacing it with unwavering confidence in your abilities and your worth. And you can release any feelings of anxiety when interacting with authority figures, feeling calm and composed in your interactions. Even as you stand there in the courtroom, notice how, if there is any shame and guilt, it's just dissolving within you, leaving behind a strong sense of self-respect and self-acceptance. You liberate yourself from the need for perfection, instead embracing your unique qualities and contributions with pride. Because being true to yourself emerges as the safest and most rewarding path, guiding you in all your actions and decisions. You approach life with an unapologetic confidence, ready to express your opinions and stand up for your values. You can be you. Someone willing to take risks. You understand that every outcome is an opportunity for growth and learning. You see authority figures as equals. No better, no worse, just different. Recognizing that true authority comes from wisdom, compassion, and integrity. Just because someone has a badge or a uniform, a title or a position, doesn't mean they're worthy of those responsibilities. You respect authority when it is accompanied by competence and integrity. Feel that you can detach from the need of approval from authority figures, finding validation and approval within yourself. The courage to be authentic grows stronger in you each day, overshadowing any fear of judgment or criticism. And you navigate interactions with authority figures with ease, your inner peace and confidence untouched by their demeanor. As time goes on, notice how you can feel, in many ways, immune from the tricks used by people in authority. And every experience with authority figures reinforces your belief in your ability to communicate effectively and assertively. You welcome feedback with an open heart, discerning constructive insights from personal biases and learning from each. Feel that your self-esteem is anchored deeply within, unaffected by the attitudes or behaviors of those in positions of power. And feel that you can cultivate an environment of mutual respect and understanding, even in the presence of challenging personalities. And in the moments of highest pressure, you remain steadfast and calm. Your self-assurance is all the strength that you need, because you can gracefully assert your boundaries, ensuring your voice is heard and your needs are acknowledged. As your interactions with authority figures become opportunities to showcase your competence and your integrity, the more unapologetically yourself you are, you start to notice chinks in the armor of these authority figures. They're not omnipotent, just people. Quite often people with the responsibility and not necessarily all the resources to do that responsibility well. You embody resilience and adaptability, transforming communication or any conflicts with authority into avenues for personal empowerment and maybe even collaboration. If someone is always closed-minded, that is a loss for them, not you, because they are missing out on new opportunities, new ways of thinking, new approaches to do things differently. You like yourself, you appreciate yourself, you are unapologetically yourself. And then see. There you are in that courtroom. But there's no longer two of you, only one of you. And you are now in the body of someone that can appreciate the demands and responsibilities of someone in authority, but with no intimidation, no guilt, no shame, just self-respect and a feeling of deep inner confidence. I want you to imagine the judge is saying words that before would have intimidated you or made you feel small or ashamed. Only as they try that now, it feels that you're surrounded by a suit of armor, a force field. The same words have no impact on you at all anymore. The harder they try to intimidate you, control you, or coerce you, the more self-confident you become. You feel liberated from the chains of authority, with a newfound freedom to be yourself, to take risks, knowing that whatever happens, you will either win or you will learn, and both are safer than doing nothing at all. I want you to imagine the judge is about to give a verdict. But I want you to imagine you ask a question to the judge first. On what authority can you give this verdict? Tell the judge that you don't need their verdict. You're going to be yourself whatever happens. As you confidently leave the courtroom, leaving the judge in awe. As you leave the courtroom, find yourself back in your own environment, feeling a sense of deep worthiness, deep self-respect, confidence and self-assurance, with a feeling you are much more well-equipped to deal with authority figures in the future. Willing to ask questions, to identify if they have the authority they claim, the competence related to their responsibilities, or in fact, integrity, the ability to do the right thing. Breathe in and breathe out and return to the present. And as you take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose, then wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, connecting fully into the present moment. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you, you will awaken feeling resourceful, confident, feeling a new sense of safety, confidence, and self-assurance that you can navigate through life on your terms. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.